Hi, this is Dan Whitney with the Whitney Law Firm here in Towson, Maryland. Today we're going to talk about why car dealers sell cars that they don't have the title to. So I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney about 10 years. I handle a lot of cases involving car dealerships, car dealership fraud, failure to disclose, and the whole host of schemes that car dealers force upon their unsuspecting customers. But particularly in the COVID era, what I've seen a large increase of is car dealers that sell cars to customers that they don't actually own yet and they don't have the title to. Now, in Maryland, car dealers are required to obtain a title to a car that they acquire for resale. They have to get it within 20 days, and then they have to keep that title on the property of the address that is licensed to have the dealership. And of course, some of them don't do that. There's all sorts of floor plan financing arrangements where perhaps the auction house will hold the title until the car dealer pays it off, although that's a problem because the title's not where it needs to be at the dealership. But the dealers don't care. They're just trying to make a dollar. And it's not a problem until somebody finds out, right? That's how they think. So what has been happening is dealers will get a car traded in. Let's just talk about trade-ins. The dealers get a car that's traded in. Somebody trades in a car and buys another one. Now they've got this car sitting here. Let's say they didn't get the title because many consumers that trade a car in don't have the title on them. Maybe they can't find it back at their house, but the car dealership does not want to postpone the sale until the consumer can find the title because they may never find it and then there's not going to be a sale. So they just do the deal, sign the paperwork, and say we'll figure it out later, which is fine until they take that same car that they don't have the title to, or let's say they do have a title, but there's a lien on the vehicle and the lien has not been paid off. What they'll do, the dishonest ones, they'll take that same car. We've got another customer coming along and they sell it to that customer. But of course they don't tell them, we don't actually own this car. We don't possess the car. Well, they possess it, but they don't own it. It has a lien that's not been paid off. We don't have the title. They don't say any of that. They'll say, okay, we're going to charge you about $300 to get it registered, and which the customer pays, and then off they go in this car. The problems come to light after the temp tag expires. The dealership will issue a second temp tag often, but then at some point the dealership says, you know what, I'm just not able to issue more temp tags. You got to deal with it. And that's when the rubber hits the road and the customer is unable to get their car registered. And now they're stuck because they don't want to drive on expired tags. And it seems like they have no options. And at this point, the dealership is usually ignoring the customer because really there's no more money to make. So why would they talk to the customer? Doesn't seem to make sense to them. And it happens a lot. So at this point, the customer is stuck. They can file a complaint with the MVA. The MVA is very busy, and at least in Maryland, we call it the MVA. They're very busy. They've got a lot of investigators, but they're busy. Or, of course, they can contact an attorney, and dealerships often have to pay attention to a lawsuit a lot faster than simply a complaining customer. Lawsuits seem to get their attention much more quickly, which is why that's what I do. We just sue them out of the gate. Why fool around? So the moral of the story is, if you're going to buy a used car from a dealer, especially in the COVID era where everything gets delayed, but really this is for any time, make sure if you're buying the car, ask the dealer, do they have the title? And if you hear anything other than, yes, here it is, you should think twice about buying the car because they might say, oh, well, we just got to get a duplicate title. It's just going to take a little bit of time. During COVID, a duplicate title could take 6 months to get simply because the MVA is backed up. But even worse, if they don't have the title, they haven't paid the lien off, maybe they don't plan on paying the lien off for a while till they get some better cash flow, it could be a huge nightmare and leave the consumer stuck. So if this does happen, you've certainly got significant legal rights. You may be able to unwind the transaction because it's a fraud if they're selling a car that they don't actually have the title to, arguably a fraud. It's a violation of the Consumer Protection Act and an implied warranty of title. There's a number of causes of actions that can be employed as tools to help the customer deal with this unpleasant situation. So I hope this has been helpful. If you'd like to see any other videos on other issues, please just leave a comment. I'll make the title if I can. If you're having a car dealer issue, car dealer problem in Maryland, reach out to us. I handle cases in Maryland. Reach out for a free consultation. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and take care. Bye.